Hi everyone. Right, so I'm on nice and early and just so I can be ready. So if you're on and you're joining me today, just say hello. So the card is a lovely little ditty card, but I'm going to show how to extend that as well today, how to make it bigger. So if you're on, please type hello, and if you can share as well, if you can share this video and the live to friends, that'd be lovely. Hope you're all okay. I won't get started with the video until it's 2 o'clock, but I've just come on a little bit early. So bits of what I'm using are actually on the link that's at the bottom. Hiya Linda, how are you? Hello Shira. Hope you're both doing okay. Oh good, I'm glad you're fine Linda. Keep insane then in these mad times. I bet you are, Tina. So don't forget, type in hello if you want me to say hello back, and we will get started then at 2 o'clock. Oh, I bet you are. Just don't forget, type hello if you're watching, and then I can say hello back. It's nearly 2 o'clock, so we can get started then. Just checking my phone for the time, making sure. Hi Tina. Oh my god. So we've got 10 people watching so far. Hi Mum, how are you? Right. Afternoon, Helen. Afternoon, Sarah. Hi Donna. Hi Peter. Right, so it's gone 2, so I'm going to have a chat about what we're going to do. So this is a lovely little easel card. It's done with a small heart die, but I'm going to show you how to make this card a bigger card today as well. Hiya Judith. So in inches, this card as the heart is 4 inches square, and in centimeters it's 10 centimeters square when it's folded down. So it's a tiny little card, but I'm going to make this bigger as well. So I'm going to show you how to do the small bit, and then I'm going to expand it to show you how to do that as well. Okay, so it's a nice little easel card, so that's what we're going to do today. Okay, and what I've done, I'm using the Francois Reed Woodway stamps, and I'm using the 3 gnomes. And they're all one stamp, but I've actually just cut in between these 2, and I could even cut between that one, so I've got 3 separate gnomes. Okay, and then I'm actually going to be using the Happy Valentine's Day or Be Mine or Love You and the hearts of the Valentine gnomes. Okay, thank you, Judith. It is a cute card. So first thing I'm going to show you is the dies I'm using. So the die I've used on the small card is actually these little scallop hearts. So they're literally a small set. So for those people who don't have big sets, you can make these cards nice and ditty and they're cute. So any of these are the same sort of size. I've used the scallop one for the little card I've got here. So what I'm going to do this time, I think I'll use the stitch ones this time. But obviously you can use any sort of dies for this, and you can use any shape as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 dies. So that's the largest, and then the next 2 down. So I know they're going to mat and layer lovely. And they are literally 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, which is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Hi, Carolyn. So just to show you can use your small cards, your small dies, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my larger set of circle dies, and I'm going to use 3 of them, and I'll give you sizes to them a bit later. But I want to show you how to do this mini one first. So today I'm actually going to use the slightly lighter pink card as to what's on the gnome there. So this is the baby pink, and then I'm going to use some 300 grams super smooth. Okay, so for this little card I literally used I think I used 1 piece of white and 1 piece of colour. Okay, so let's do that first. So the first thing I need to do is, because we know that the largest heart is 4 inches by 4 inches or 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, I need to bring in my cutter, which I will just move the card out of the way now so I can bring this in. Okay, and I'm going to take my white piece of 300 gram card, and I'm actually going to cut it to about 10.5 centimeters, and that's all you do. You just make sure that your die will fit on it sideways like that, so it will. So 10.5 centimeters, and cut that down. So that's on an A4 cut landscape, so I end up with that. Then I'm going to take my scoreboard, and this is 21 centimeters, so I want to score in half, so that's 10.5 centimeters. Okay, and I'm going to fold that. And normally when we do a heart shaped card, we would put the big end of the heart just over where the fold mark is. But this time I want to place it the opposite way. So make sure your folded side is there at the top, and I want to bring this over the edge. Okay, and I'm going to cut that there, so I'm just leaving that bit over the edge. And I'm just going to bring in a bit of tape sticking it to the outside so that it doesn't damage the card base itself. And I'm going to put that through my grand caliber, only because I got it to hand. And as you can see, it just cuts nicely, tape comes off. And I've got nice little stitches in there. And if I just bend the card back and forth like that, it'll actually release it because it'll stick together. And there's my card. Okay. And the reason we cut it this way is because we want the thick part of this to be here. And when we come to put in the other heart on, if we did it the other way, then the thick half would be there, so the pointy bit would be this piece. And then when we come to doing the card up like that, it would be too pointy at the top, so your heart would be upside down. So by doing this, I can take my card base like this, and there's my stitch side there, and there's my stitch side there. Hi Bev, how are you? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this card, and this was the way the die cut down, so I'm going to take this top bit and fold it open and place it up against the left hand side of my scoreboard. I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to have a look where the score mark is. So the fold mark there is just under 9, so half of 9 is 4.5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to score this side at 4.5, and that's all you do to make sure it's squares. You just put the two hearts up against there and you score that 4.5 there. Okay, and then with a normal easel we would fold that down to do that, but that also means that the heart would be the wrong way round. So what we need to do, we need to fold this front bit here upwards like that. Okay, so then when we cut another heart out, we can fit that onto there, and that will become our little heart easel. Okay, so that is now our little heart easel card. So that's the base. So what I need to do is cut another one of the large hearts. So I'm just going to take the same piece of white that I had, place that into the corner, just take my scissors, I'm just going to cut that roughly around and tape that. And I'm going to put that through my cutting machine as well. So I hope everybody's forward at the moment, and I hope everybody's okay and keeping well. So this is my second full heart that I've cut. And this has got the stitching around the edge, which is a nice little feature to the card. And this will now get stuck to our card itself. So to stick that on, I'm going to take my high tack all-purpose. Hi Louise, how are you? Glad you're following okay. And on the top part of this heart where the fold is, just going to pop some glue along there, just to wiggle down the centre part of it. And I'm going to match up this heart to the front of it. Just make sure it doesn't move. Any glue oozes out, just take that off. And then that becomes our nice little easel card, which stands up like that. Okay, so that is our little card base. So then, to do the other parts of this, I need to take my colour piece of card. I have now finished with a large heart. I'm going to take the next size heart down. Yes, we're fine, Louise, thank you. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut roughly around this heart with the scissors. So even if you've got a small machine, it doesn't matter whether you've got a bigger sheet. So you can just cut it down so it go through your machine nice and easily. Just going to cut that as well. So these are just using small dies. And I'll just take that out, and that is that piece. I'll just leave my tape there so I can take it off. And then also with this, I'm going to be cutting this little sentiment bit here as well. So the best way to do that is to take a little bit of your colour paper, take your middle die that you just used to cut the other piece of pink, and I'm not actually doing the whole heart, I'm just going to do that top bit. I'm going to cut that. So at the end of this video as well, I'm actually going to show a few new products that we've had in today as well. That's not on the website yet, one of them, but some of them, but they will be going on the next day. Some nice new products. So it looks like a cheeky backside sat down on a chair. So that's what I want for that. And then I have finished with the second die down. Then I'm going to go for the third die from the largest. I'm going to bring my white in that I had earlier, and I'm going to cut a bottom shape out of that as well. Alright, so Gavin have added the new products to their website now, so when I show you, they will be available to order. So I'm going to cut that in white. So this is quite a quick card to make as well, but it's the extended version that I'll show you, which will show you the extra bit to this heart here. And I'm going to be cutting them down in a bit, but I'll show you that later. Because we've cut the middle heart in pink, but I also need to take the third heart down from the largest and cut that fully as well. Okay, so literally we folded a piece of card to 10.5. So this is the full piece of white in the third die down. So we folded a piece of card which was 10.5 centimeters, and then folded at 10.5, which made it a card base, and we placed the heart over the edge. So you could use circles, ovals, rectangles, whatever you wanted to really. I just thought coming up to Valentine I would just do that. Okay, so now I have the folded card which was that. Folded the top bit over, cut a large heart and stuck that to the top so that I've got my easel. Then I took the medium die and I've cut the full heart in pink, and I also cut half of the heart, so the bottom shape type, or the bustier one. I only cut half of that. And then I took the neck size down and cut it in white, and I also did the little bustier bottom shape as well. Okay, so the next part I need to do is to stamp my image on here. So I'm going to bring my little trusty Press to Impress into play. I'm going to place my heart up to the point there and push it over to the left. I'm just going to pop one of those there. Okay, so that's fine. And then I'm going to take one of my... Yes, it does look like that, doesn't it? Yeah, so if you're on and you're watching, there's a little share button at the bottom where you can share it to your page, or you can share it to certain friends. So if you would like to do that, that'd be lovely. So I'm just going to place my little gnome. And the little gnome I'm using is this little one that's holding the heart. So it's the one that I've got on this card here. Okay. And like I said, I've just cut with the scissors between the gnomes, making sure I don't go anywhere near the actual image itself. I'm going to pick that up, make sure that's still at the top and to the side, and then I'm going to take my VersaFine ink pad. So that's my VersaFine. So if you wanted to do this in watercolours, you would just make sure that you use VersaFine is fine for watercolours, or you could use StazOn, but you would have to make sure that you use a watercolour card. So I'm just going to bring that over and stamp that, and you can see that's come out lovely. Okay, take that off, put that to the side. Then I can take my archival ink cleaner, oops, that was my guillotine, and then my rag then, and that'll clean all the ink off my stamp. So nice and clean. And then I can place that back onto my carrier sheet. And because I cut it with the stamp, I'm actually just going to place it back where it came from, and then push the plastic back over, and then place that back in its packet. Okay. And then on this little bustier booby thing that Gavin said, I'm going to take the little sentiment of your Happy Valentine's Day. This is the Valentine gnome. Going to place that in there. Pick up that stamp, tap gently with your ink pad across it, so that is my little Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. And what I'm going to do with this one as well is I'm actually going to take my ruler and pencil, just a normal pencil, and I'm going to measure. So from the bottom of the Valentine's Day, it's 1.5 centimeters. So from the top of the Valentine's Day, I want to also make it 1.5 centimeters. Yep, so that's 1.5. I'm going to do that at 1.5 as well. Okay, so that's that. So when I cut along there now, I know it's going to be completely square. Okay, so I'll just put that into my trimmer. Line up my pencil lines with the edge of the guillotine and cut them off there. And then I know that that is just left a little pencil mark on there, so I'm just making sure it's right up. There we are. Just moved a little, so I'm just going to push that in a bit more. There we are. So that is now my Happy Valentine's Day. I'm actually going to pop that onto some foam tape. So I've just got some foam tape. Could use foam pads, but my foam tape is a little bit thinner than my foam pads. So I'm just cutting some little pieces. So that's there. If I just roughly place that on where I want it, so I know it's going to be square with the shape, then I can actually just pencil mark where I want to cut that as well. In fact, to make that quicker for me, instead of bringing the machine back in, I'm just going to pencil line that. I'm just going to cut along that pencil line with those long scissors, and I know that's done. Then I can peel off the back of the foam pads. Place that on there, and then that is my little stopper, and I need to put some foam pads on the back of this as well, or foam tape, whichever you got. So again, just a nice little piece of that. I tend to put my piece across my 4 fingers, and then I cut in between the fingers, so I know I got 4 pieces about the same size. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's plenty. I'm going to bring in my little heart card, open it completely up, and this is going to go into there, which means that when I bring this over now, it'll actually hold it up. Okay, so that's my base. I then need to colour this piece, so and I've left this stamp there for a reason, just to show you that you can still go in after with your cleaner. So even if you've left it for a bit, you can go in with your cleaner and it'll still wipe off most if not all of it. Yeah, that's taking it all off. So that's taking all of that off. Just replace the die, the stamp back onto the sheet, sorry, not the die. swap that back with this because I might use some of the hearts in a bit. And then when you're going to colour, you should always put a bit of scrap paper or card underneath the piece you're actually going to be colouring, because you don't want the ink, the alcohol ink, to go through your card or paper onto your surfaces, because they can damage wax and polish and stuff like that because it is alcohol based. Okay, so now I'm going to bring, so the camera's going to move a little bit now. I'm going to bring that down a little bit closer so you can see the colouring. There we are. Technology, eh? There we are. So I've just opened my big bag of pens, and I'm actually going to start colouring. So I'm using individual alcohol pens. So I'm using the old Spectrum Noir, because that's the set I've got, but we do the Illustrator pens and the Tri-Blend pens, which we've got. So what I'm doing, I'm just looking at my colours, and the good thing about having a bit of scrap white, you can actually check your colours there as well. So that's not too bad, that one, but I want to bring in something a little bit darker. So I'm using BP1 and BP4. I'm also going to be using DR2 and DR7, which is a light red and a dark red. And then I'm also going to be using a couple of browns for the hair. So I'm going to be using TN2 and TN4. And then the skin tone, so for the hands and the nose, which I will bring in there, the hands and the nose, I'm going to actually use FS. So I'm going to use FS1 and FS3, and I'll just show you them on there. So it's a very, very pale colour. And then FS4 is just slightly, so I'm going to use FS4, which is actually a more lighter colour for the skin, and then I'm going to use the FS1 for the shadowing. Okay, so let's get colouring, and I might bring in, yes, I've got the reds, so that's fine. So to colour medical images, oh good, yeah, it is a really good stamp cleaner, so it will work even if the ink has been on it for a while. Just leave it sit a little bit longer on the stamp and then it'll clean lovely Donna. I'm glad you like the card. Like I said, it is Diddy. So the first thing I'm going to do is colour the hat. I'm going to start off with my light pink, which is the BP one. I'm just going to put a base coat of that colour all into my hat. That's my base coat. I'm not going to pop the lid completely on, I'm just going to leave it there for now. And then where the shadows are, so where the shadows are, there's little dots here. So I'm actually going to do, I'm not doing straight lines, I'm just doing a wiggly line along there. There's a little bit of shadow in there. I'll just come around there a bit. I would put a little bit of a shadow behind, around the patch, and then down the left hand side and along the top of there. So there's my shadows, and then I go back with my light colour again. I'm just going over the very edge in light circular motions of the dark area. And I'm going to leave that dry. Okay, and then I'm going to do the shoes as well, which I'm going to do in the same sort of pinks. And on this one I want the whole shoe to be light pink. Then I'm going to do the dark pink along the bottom, and then I want to put a little bit of shadow to the right and to the left of the shoe. And then back in with a light colour again. Okay, and you can see then that this shadow is starting to come quite nice there. But if you want it a little bit darker, just go back in with the dark one again. Just tap in little dots in there. Little dots around the edge. So where you want the shadows again, just go with the dark colour again, and then just quickly just go over the edge of it with the light one again. Come back down to here. A little bit darker. So with the tri-blend pens, you've actually got a light and a medium and a dark colour all in one pen. So there's like three little barrels of it, and you can actually add the 3 different colours into that. Okay, so that is my pink done for that. Now we're going to add my little bits of red. So I'm going in with my DR2 first, which is my light red. So I'm doing the little jumper or cardi or coat or whatever's under there. Come in with your dark colour, which mine is the DR7. And underneath where the beard is, just putting some little darkness. And then just quickly go over the edge of that with the light colour. And I'm going to do the same with the heart. Light colour first. And I'll also do this little patch up here as well. Light colour, dark colour along the edge. Do a dark colour along the edge, this one half of the heart, just underneath that arm. Back in with a light one, over the edge of it. And that'll blend in lovely. So I've now finished with the reds. Then I'm going to do the nose and the arms. So I'm going in with my lightest colour for skin tone. So this is why you should have a sheet of paper so you can see which one is your lightest tone. So my lightest tone was FS3. And because I got one of the newer pens, the FS1 is actually more of a pink, because it's made at a different factory. So I'm going to put in a little bit of shadow in with this one because it's a little bit pink, and I'm going to go down that side of the nose. Just in case you can't see that, I will bring that up a bit closer. Right, so you should be able to see that there's a little bit of a shadow there. Yeah, you can. And then again, you just go with your light colour again, over the dark one, over the edge of the dark one, and then that's done. And because the ink is all still wet, if you go in with the dark one again, it'll just blend straight back in because the card is quite wet now with the alcohol. The tri-blend pens are fabulous. It's got to be one of the best concepts, especially for trials as well. If you're just starting out as colorists with alcohol pens, tri-blend pens, because you've got the 3 colours that blend with each other, then it's a lot nicer. So it works out a lot cheaper to buy them as well that way. And then if you use certain colours you keep running out of on the tri-blends, you can then come to buy in the individual colours in the illustrators, which will then match the colours in the tri-blends. So I'm now going to do the sort of beard or hair. So I'm using, just show you my colours, I'm using TN2, which is like a goldy colour, and I'm using a branch, so quite different but still in the same colour family, so TN2 and TN4. So first thing I'm going to do is get some colour down with the TN2, sorry. And on the individual pens you have 2 different sides to the pen, so you can use a thicker edge or thinner edge. In fact, I think that one is running out, so that's an old pen I'll have to replace, so I'm going to have to go into TN1. Let's see how light that one is. Yeah, so going with TN1. That one's a bit more juicy. Use the other side, so you get a bit more colour down. And by putting a lot more colour down, it means that you're saturating the card with the alcohol, which also means that it'll actually blend a lot better as well when you put your second colour on to blend out. So then I'm going in with my darker colour, which is my TN4, and where I want all my shadows, so under the nose, under the hairline. I'm going to come down there and make a little line up here where the hair is. Make a little shape, there's a little dot here, so that means there's a shadow under the heart, under the arms. Okay, so that's that one, and then I'm going to go back in with my light colour over the edge, little circular motions over the edge of the dark colour we put down. Get some more colour on there. Let's use the bigger end. That's better. If it's not blending out as much as you would like, it's because there's not enough alcohol coming out of your pens. You need to saturate it. Circular motions, go in lines, go underneath here. So you can see I'm just blending out because it's a very pale colour. It'll just And then if you think that is okay, or you just want to leave it dry for now, then leave it dry. Going for a pale sort of blondie sort of colour. You can then leave that dry a little bit. And then I'll show you how we can add a little bit more shadows into that later. But I'm actually going to go in with a grey pen now. And I'm going to use the raised edge of my ruler. Just going to put my line there, and I'm going to ground the gnome so it's actually standing on something. Otherwise he's just floating in the heart. Take a slightly darker grey, form a shadow underneath the gnome, just a nice rough little shadow area. It looks like he's casting a shadow, or she's casting a shadow. And I'm quite happy with that here actually, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Okay, so we've now got that. If there's any bits that you think is a little bit blotchy and you want to go back in, then just go back in with your light colour and go over the edge again and over your light area on the hat, and then that'll blend that down just a little bit more. So you can always go back in and add a bit more colour or blend it out a little bit more even after it's dried. Okay. BB1. So if anybody go, hi again, that's fine, that's fine. Like I said, you can always catch up with these on YouTube anyway, later, or on the Facebook, on our Facebook page. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that is that coloured in. And then we're going to bring in all the bits for our card. Okay, so I would actually add a little bit of foam pads to the white. What I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to lift the camera back up so we got a higher shot onto it. Up we go. Hey, we're on a journey together. Okay, there we are. That's better. So we're back in the room now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my little foam pads, my little foam tape. Again, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to place that into the centre of the heart. And then I'm going to pop some foam on the back of that one as well. So to finish this card off, what I would do is just stick that onto the front of that card there, like so, and then it would, just going to place that gently on there. I'm not going to push it down though, I'm just going to do that. And then that would actually be your Happy Valentine's card, along with that one there. Okay, so just different hearts. Okay, so we've now got those. But I said I would show you how to make this card bigger. So if you wanted to make a bigger card, because that was using all your small little dies, your small matte and layer dies. Okay, so I will show you how to extend this card now and how to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so if you haven't got any larger hearts than that, then what I'm going to do is actually take some circles. That's okay, I'm going to actually show you how I extend the card and make it a little bit bigger as well. So what I'm then going to do, because I didn't push that on there properly, just going to take that off. I'll leave it on. It's sort of stuck, so I'll show you that in a minute. So what you do to make the card bigger, so what I'm going to do to make this card bigger now, I'm actually going to take an A4 piece of card, okay, and we actually take looking for me score tool, put an A4 card in, score it at 15, fold it, and I'm going to take some circle dies. So I'm going to take my largest die, which, well, one of my largest dies, which is 13 centimeters or just over 5 inches. Okay, and I'm actually going to cut that in the folded card, but over the edge. Okay, I'm going to just cut that there first, so it's just hanging over the edge a little bit. I'm going to pop that on my cutters and I'm going to put that through my machine. Okay, so that is the largest die. I'm going to wiggle it back and forth so that it actually separates. Again, we put the top part, open it up, put them to the top, that to the left. My score mark is on 12.5, so half of 12.5 is 6.5, so you choose which one you want to do. I'm choosing the 6.5, and with this one you can actually fold it down the other way, like so. and that makes your easel. Then I'm going to take another piece of white card, take that large die again and cut one circle out of it. So you don't need to fold this one, it's just a plain straightforward circle. So I'm just showing how to make this card just a little bit bigger. So this is the large circle again. So that's that one. So that's the large die finished with. So I'm then going to stick this onto that front area there. I'm going to use some glue. I'm glad we've been able to do something for everybody through lockdown, really, because it's helped us greatly to be able to do something to keep us all sane, I think, really. Okay, so I've done the large piece there. And that is my easel. Okay, so that's my easel card. Now I'm going to bring up my camera just a little bit more, so this will move a little bit more now. I'm sorry if you forget. Oop. There we are, so it's a little bit higher now. There we go, so you can see it just a little bit more now. Okay, marvellous. It's just a bit too close. So we've now got my little easel. Going to take my pink piece of card, the bit I had left. I'm going to take, out of the 3 dies, circle dies I had, I'm going to cut one of them in pink. And cut that out. Just take my tape off my die there. Cut that one. Okay, so that's that one. What I'm going to do with that, I'm actually going to just stick it straight onto there. So because this pink is a little bit thinner, because it's not the original stuff we've got in the shop, it's stuff I've had that's a similar colour. I'm going to use my all-purpose. Just popping that on there. So that's still my easel. Okay, I'm going to take the slightly smaller circle die and cut that out of the little bit of white that I've got left. So the banging you can hear is actually my light hitting the side of the wardrobe as the table is rocking. Okay. So that is my slightly smaller circle, and what I'm actually going to do with that is put it through an embossing folder. So this could be any type of embossing folder. Okay, it could be, I'm just making sure it's the raised side. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm going to pop that through my machine. Into my machine. So just to put some sort of texture into the background, I'll just pop that through an embossing folder. So this could be dots, it could be hearts, it could be anything that you want. Okay, so you can see that. And I'm just going to pop that on. Just make sure that when you open it up like that, you're popping it on nice and square. And then obviously this card that I had earlier on, I'm just going to, so that's what my card turned out like earlier. Okay, so we got all that, and then just to show you, doesn't matter about this bit, just wanted to put the small one together. And then to make the larger one, I'm just taken my sentiment of the smaller one, so that's there. So you're still bringing part of the heart down into here. This will then come up to there, which will do that. What I'm doing now, I'm just cutting off the white heart from around the pink. I don't want that to be part of this card because it's already got a white base there, so I want the pink to be up against the white. So we've now got that. If I put some glue on the back of that, and pop that into the center of that. Then what we've got is a bigger card than that. So you can change it up. So you cut your hearts as you want them, you cut your sentiment as you want them, and then that will actually give you your two different size cards. So that is the Diddy one with just the hearts. And when you fold that down, it goes into a tiny, tiny little card. So yeah, 5x5 square card. It is just over 4x4 inches. So that's that one. And then the large one looks like that. So going from the small heart, which was only sort of 4 inches, we've gone up to a 5.5 inch card. So, and it's on a circle. So just by using your small dies first to do your heart area, and then doing the circles then to make it a little bit larger, that'll give you your little cards. So what I'm now going to do, so now we've got that, so you've shown you how to make the small card, and I've shown you how to extend it. I'm now going to show you, so if anybody's got any questions, please fire away. I'm going to show you some of the new stuff that we've actually added in now today, and it's actually on our website as well. So I'll leave these cards just in sort of the picture. And if this glue goes everywhere, it just rubs into a little ball. It's just oozed out of there. And don't lose your little bung on your eye tack as well. More lovely cards this afternoon, thank you. Oh, it's okay, Judith, no problem at all. Just glad that we're here to sort of do something for you all, that's all. Okay, so some of the new stuff that we've had in, obviously the gnomes came in at the beginning of the week or end of last week. But we have now had the Crafters Inspiration magazine in. And this is issue 29. For those of you on the list, the every time list, you would have been emailed, and so you just click on the link and pay for it, and then yours will be there for you. But we have got spares of these in the shop now. So this literally came in this morning. So that's issue 29 of Crafters Inspiration, and in it you have a die set, which is the kite. Let's see if it's got any better pictures. Nope, no better pictures on the front. Right, okay. So he's got a kite die. Okay, it's got a kite die, which makes a kite. You can do the inner, outie. It's got a little bow, the tail. It's got all the little decorations that you have hanging off a little thing, and it makes the full kite. Then you have, I think, is stamps and sentiments and a couple of little flowers and stuff like that. I think it's just, yeah, I think it's sentiments, little flowers go in the basket, and you got a bike there. So that's a stamp. Then you've got a stencil, which is full clouds in the centre, and then you've also got your uppy clouds and your downy clouds as well. So you can do this little background with your stencil clouds, and this is the stamp that's in there as well. Okay, so that's all there. So that's what's in there, and obviously you get the magazine. Okay, and if you look inside the magazine, then there's a little code to go on a website to go and download your digi images as well. Okay, so that's that one. And then the other new things that have come in, which Gavin have been waiting for, is the Pixie Sparkles. So they're Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Sparkles. So you've got Zesty Lime. So these are bigger mica particles within. So it's a bit like your Pixie powders, but the Pixie powders are literally a powder, whereas this is a bit of a powder and it's got bigger particles in it, so it'll give you bigger areas of colour as well. So we have the Zesty Lime, we have the Pale Blush, so it's nice pinkies, and again they still burst into different colours I think as well. Fuchsia Rose, Beyond Blue, so that's 4. Yes, and Gavin will be using these Pixie Sparkles in the live next week. This one's lovely. Coral Crush, it's like an orange coral colour. Beautiful. Then we've got Groovy Grape, which is sort of purplies and stuff like that. So I will push these up into the canvas a bit more. They sold out within 2 hours of getting them the first time, but we managed to get them in with a pre-order for the second time they came in. So this is a purple affair, and I think they've sold out of them now as well. And then we've got teal marine, so a nice teal colour as well. So literally they've got a nice little nozzle on the top that you can just tap out your powders and your larger particles. It's got a bigger gap at the top. So these are the other things that have come in as well. So you basically you can still paint with them. You can pop them in like a mica or pixie powder. You can pop them into a pot, spritz them with water. You can paint with them. You can drop the powder onto paper, then spritz the paper with spritz the paper with water, and then all the colours come out. So yep, so they are sort of water based, but they will dry quite a bit once they're confused. They are powder. Yes, they're a powder. They're a powder that a bit like mica powders or pixie powders. So a bit like that, and you can mix them with water to make a paint, and then paint with them. You can tap them onto a mat and then spritz it, and then you can take things from it. You can put it into foam, mix it around and do your pull, so you'll have a mica pull. So yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do with these, and I'm sure Gavin will be showing quite a few of those techniques on his live next week. So yep, so just to confirm, it's Zesty Lime, Pale Blush, Fuchsia Rose, Beyond Blue, Teal Marine, Purple Affair, Groovy Grape and Coral Crush. Okay, so that's the 8 colours we have of them, and we've also had the Crafters Inspiration issue 29 in as well. Okay, and there's 72 inspirational makes inside the magazine to show you what to do as well, with step-by-step instructions. So yeah, so watch next week. If you're afraid you'll miss out on them, because I'm sure we'll get them back in even if they run out, when they get them back in stock, if they get them back in stock quickly. But we have got some there. They're all there, they're all done. They're all done, so we've got, I think, 6 of each colour, I think, or was it 9? No, it might be 10 of each colour, I think we had, I'm not sure. So yeah, so if you like them, Gavin will have a go with them and he'll show them next week on our live. But I'd just like to say thank you very much. Yes, we do post, Linda. You can order online. Order on our website, say it for delivery. If it's under £40, it's £2.99 postage. If it's over £40, it's free. If you're local, very local to the shop, you can collect from the shop and it'll be contactless free. So you just pull up and beep your horn and we'll come out, see who it is, and then bring your order out to you. So yeah, so we can do that as well. So yeah, so thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the 2 little cards we made today. The tiny one and the one that's extended with the circles. And obviously once we're still in lockdown, we will still do the lives almost every Thursday at 2 o'clock. So we look forward to seeing you again next week. And bye everyone. Thank you very much. Bye. No problem. Bye.